from Trump. Watch.
Kamala is the right person for this time in our country. A lot of us have put some big cracks in that glass ceiling. There was a purpose behind it, and that purpose was to stand up for what's right and good in America and against the kind of violence and chaos and corruption that too many on the other side try to impose upon us.
Oh my God, I just fell asleep. Brianna, the 2016 loser is going to give advice to Kamala Harris. This is more good news for Trump. I love this.
Yeah, me too. You know, the problem with Democrats is that they like to reduce women down to our uterus. And the fact remains, and you spoke about this, we care about the economy too because we eat. Groceries are too expensive. We care about crime because it's no longer safe to walk the streets without wondering, are we going to be murdered by an illegal immigrant led in by this administration? We care about immigration because we send our children to schools. We want our resources going to teach our students. And the propaganda press is more focused on the female gender gap because they're obsessed with abortion when they should really be focused on the fact that Democrats are hemorrhaging male voters like never seen before.
Well, they think that that's going to make up for their shrinkage among male voters and black voters and young voters. That's a heavy lift, Dana. And I didn't even get into the transgender agenda, which, of course, is horrific. As someone who played sports in high school and college, I mean, it's a horrible thing for young women. Again, this is what feminism has become in 2024. If that's the case, I think a lot of women are out.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. And one of the things that the Republicans need to do and that Trump and Vance need to do, and they don't get credit for this enough already, let's just make that clear. I mean, there are a lot of women that support that ticket, a lot of women that support Trump and Vance going into 24 that support the Republican Party, that supported him in 2020, 2016. And the women don't get credit for that. They're ignored by Democrats and the legacy press. That's its own form of misogyny because it doesn't count unless you're Democrat. But one of the things I thought Vance did quite well during the last debate was he had a very good temperament, and he came across as a strong provider, not some like neurotic, knucklehead, I guess is what Walz calls himself. But he was able to be strong without being aggressive, assertive without being overpowering.
Yeah.
And he spoke to issues that women care about. They need to have They should bring out the women more on the campaign trail. They need Patty Morin. They need Alexis Nungary. They need Gianna Jensen. They need these women who can tell these stories because, quite frankly, and it's sexist, Laura, but the men can't do it.
Brianna, we mentioned this last night, but I'm so fascinated by this topic of the supporters of Kamala Harris on the dating apps who will swipe past people or penalize men if they're voting for Trump. Have you heard about this? Because this is what it's come to on the left as well.
Yeah,
the tolerance set.
Yeah, that's an entirely true phenomenon because what the left has done for years is that they have said that masculinity is toxic. They have waged a war on men, unfortunately, and that's why we're seeing droves of men go to Donald Trump. And one of the things I think is important to mention is that the Democratic Party's policies emasculate men. They create policies that hinder a man's ability to provide for his family. And when you feel that way, that you can't provide, you go to a party that promises economic prosperity. And that's the Republican Party at this point.
And I think they're banking on women kind of liking the pajama boy types that, only work from home, and they're worried about their, manscaping and all the rest. Dana and Brianna.